various reasons. So amongst these factors, if you look at agriculture, industry, as well as population growth make a big contribution. So now today, I will dwell upon how this industry as a water stress factor influences it.
FutureScape co-host.
If you look at the water availability, on the red, the population is growing up, and the beige one, the water availability is coming down. If you see that gap, it is increasingly increasing. Okay, so if you look at the snapshot of this, so in 1951 it was 5177 cubic meter availability, and it will get reduced to 1367, and by 2050 it will go to 1140, which is a dangerous situation. So why it is dangerous situation? Let us look at the WRI stress region. So if you look at India, which is like orangish red, which is extremely high stress situation. Okay. Now, coming to the industrial water footprint scenario, as I explained previously, so let us look at the various industries which consume more water: the power industries, thermal industry, paper pulp, textiles, and iron and steels. Among this, if you look at the water intensity in the textile industry is very high, which is close to 343 cubic meter per metric ton of this merchandise. Now, how to address this? We need to understand the textiles value chain. So this, if you look at the textile value chain, I'm not covering from the fiber, but I'm covering from yarn spinning, knitting, dyeing, and garment making. The dyeing process contributes a lot. So 99% of the water is consumed in this textile value chain. Now, how to address this? What is the solution? Let's understand. The solution is to mitigate this water stress in dyeing process by reducing the consumption. How you can do that? There are two technologies are available. One is reduction system, another is elimination system. Reduction system means you can eliminate the water, so reduce the water, but in elimination you use less water or no water. So what is the alternative? You can use carbon dioxide, which is a greenhouse gas emission gas. In spite of that, at a lower temperature, it behaves like a supercritical medium, we call, and it can be used as a dyeing. Now, there are two technologies are available. One is from Netherlands, which is Dyeco technology, and we should all proud. This technology is also available from India, from Devan Supercriticals. It is called Supernova. Let us look at the snapshot of this Supernova technology. If you use this technology, if you look at the water usage, it is like 76% of water consumption you can reduce. Energy you can reduce by 67%. And most important is also GHG emissions reduced by 50%. So that is the beauty of this technology. And as we are not using the water, our requirement on the effluent treatment plant also reduces. And all of us know that ETP also generates another greenhouse gas emission called methane, which is a high potential greenhouse gas. So that also reduces. Now, this is the beauty of this technology. Now, what I did, I just applied this technology as a business case and as a comparison. Like let us consider Tirupur, which is one of the biggest garment export hub in India. So last year they exported around $5.17 billion of exports. This equivalent to an average, considering a t-shirt as a product, it consumes 30 million cubic meters of water. Okay. So when you compare this with supercritical technology, we can do it by 7.2 million cubic meters of water. So that means there is a saving of 22.8 million cubic meter of water. That means which is equivalent to roughly 0.25 million households, 0.8 persons. So by using this technology, we can manage the water stress and the water capital. So as we move from current situation to FutureScape 2047, our water demand goes up at phenomenal range. So if we do not mitigate using these technologies applying, so we'll reach to a very critical situation. So that is the beauty of this technology. So we thank you very much for giving me opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you very much, everyone. Let's go to now Somnaji. Can you share? And you have to speed up a little bit, everyone. Or Dr. Chandrima, if Somnath is enabled, or even we can call Subhi. Subhi, why don't you share your screen and you are visible as well, so you can go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Hello, everyone. Very good morning. Really pleasure to be here. Thank you, Vivek ji, for having me. Since I saw that it's a very shortened time I have currently now, so I have also shortened my presentation. So I'll just quickly present 2 to 3 slides about how FutureScape will play important role when we take carbon market as a crucial aspect. I'll take few seconds to introduce me. I'm Shubhi, based out of New Delhi. I am currently working as a freelancer on climate finance and carbon market related projects with various startups and organizations at a bigger level who need consultants to support in carbon market and climate finance decarbonization roadmap. So I have also come up with one of an organization called Parijata that is major focused is on capacity building. So being an educator, I do lot of education and capacity building session with various corporates and individual to help them understand about basic concepts like climate change, decarbonization, scope 1, 2, 3, etc. So today I'll just share my screen. Let me know if that's visible. Is it visible?
Yes,
All right. So today I'll be majorly focusing on decoding the carbon markets. Have just 2 to 3 slides to help you understand what it is and how it actually plays important role when we talk about FutureScape 2047. So carbon market is a process where you are avoiding, reducing, or sequestrating the carbon from the atmosphere in comparison to the usual scenarios. So if you are reducing any kind of greenhouse gases from the atmosphere, which you can measure, you can actually quantify it into a carbon credit, and that gives you one carbon credit is equal to 1 ton CO2 equivalent emission reduction. So here equivalent stands for all the greenhouse gases that you are reducing, and that again has a monetary value depending on what kind of carbon reduction or avoidance project we are doing, and then based on that particular project we monetize it. For example, afforestation activity has more carbon credit compared to a solar project that we are doing on our rooftop for minimizing the emission of energy. So that depends on the kind of project that we are doing. Is it avoiding or a removal of emission? Then there are a lot of opportunities we have. So this is the only slide I want to majorly focus on today. We have lot of things approaching, coming and updating in the domain of carbon market itself. It plays very crucial role for decarbonization. Two reasons. One, we all are already working towards emission reduction due to lot of compliances we have. Secondly, it actually gives us motivation or encourage us to work more towards emission reduction, ensuring that we can get incentivized for all the reduction or avoidance activities we are doing. So we have two major things here to see. One is an Article 6, which is talking majorly about carbon markets, or you can say uh, that is divided into three: market and non-market approaches. So today we'll only focus on market approach, which covers your Article 6.4 and 6.2. Then we have national markets. Say, for example, India has developed its Indian carbon market, which is popularly known as CCTS, Carbon Credit Trading System. We have voluntary carbon market, which we have been participating from decade, which is your mechanisms like Vera, Gold Standard, GCC, etc. Then in India, we have also come up with a program called Green Credit Program to monetize individual efforts towards the environment. So let's understand each of these concepts and see how we are eligible to these kind of projects while we are talking about reductions or removals in the organizations we are currently working on. So Article 6.4 talks about the encouragement for private and the business participation if they are planning to do any carbon offset generation. So you can either reduce your emission or you can offset. The major difference between two is that you actually do an activity on ground to reduce the emission. However, if you are unable to do that, yet you have a plan to become, say, for example, net zero or a carbon neutral by certain year, then you can also offset your emission purchasing it from the existing market that we have. So Article 6.4 gives you a guideline where both voluntary mechanism and national emission trading system needs to be worked on. COP30 played very important role to come up with these particular frameworks and how Article 6.4 will actually contribute for voluntary and for all our national market. Then comes Article 6.2. This talks about your multilateral or bilateral relation between one country or between two or more than two countries. So when we say that, it is very crucial for achieving the national determined contribution, which is NDC's target of each country. Very recently, India has signed an agreement with Japan for the 13 activities we have listed. These 13 activities are the critical technologies that we are facing challenges to develop within in India. So we have partnered with Japan so that they can support us with technological advancement, with finance, which is required to develop the same, and lastly for the capacity building that is required. Whatever reduction activity we will be doing in India with the support of Japan, all the mitigation outcomes that has been achieved will be transferred for the Japan NDC target depending on the agreement that we'll come up with. This is just an example to understand. However, the understanding of the agreement is yet to be developed between India and Japan, but companies and corporates have started initiating the process to come up with their proposals of the project that they can initiate. Then Indian carbon market, which is also your national or a regional emission trading system. We have a popular one from Europe, which is your European Union emission trading system. This is basically to launch your low carbon pathways for a particular nation. For example, India has come up with a list of 400 plus industries where they have certain intensity targets needs to be reduced. So each of the intensity target that they need to reduce, they have to report it under the Indian carbon market. If they fail to do that, then they can do the offset mechanism similar to how we do currently in the voluntary mechanism. The voluntary market is still the same which we used to have from Vera, Gold Standard, etc. However, their reporting and the monitoring, which is MRV, monitoring reporting framework, has developed as per the framework of Article 6.4, and also they have to comply to two major principles. That is one, your ICVCM, which is your International Voluntary mechanism, and your VCMI, which is your voluntary carbon market. Both of these have given a critical principle to ensure the integrity of demand and supply side of your voluntary carbon market. So the more we adhere to these principles, the more we will be ensuring the integrity of these carbon credit, the better the price we can achieve from the same. So it is expected that through voluntary market, we will be able to reach to $250 billion as per the reporting of from McKinsey and other such platform. And it will not just create the $1 billion, but also bring lot of FDIs to India if we actually adhere to both emission trading system and the voluntary market. Then the Green Credit Program is a very innovative and the first program which was announced by India, our Honorable Prime Minister, which is linked to Life campaign, which is lifestyle for environment, and also incentivize the individual and the smaller projects that we are conducting on ground. These have 7 key activities that has been introduced and majorly drive these incentives and encourage individuals to work towards the environment. Um, Very important, there are few steps to claim these carbon credit. First, you have to identify what are the advantages you are generating from the particular project. You develop a report and showcase how much emission reduction you are doing. Once you are able to do that, validate the project through a third party, which is your validation verification bodies, and then register your project in any of the mechanisms we just discussed. It could be under 6.4, 6.2 emission trading system or voluntary market, depending on the compliance you have, and also within the voluntary market, which is giving you more credit opportunity comparing to other. Then you monitor your emission on grounds and report it. Once you report your
Sorry, we lost you, Subhi. I think you can conclude now, if you can. Rejoin your screen. Subhi, you are on mute.
All right, can you hear me now? I'll just
Yes, we can hear you. We
This is
can
the
hear you.
last slide only.
Conclude
I'll
now.
just conclude. I was saying that there is a step to claim this. You have to get it validated and verified through third party, and you can get your credits issued based on that. You have both compliance and voluntary mechanism, as I just discussed, and you can actually create opportunities for individual efforts you are doing through the organizational level. And this was about a quick introduction to what carbon credit is and how it can help us to achieve the roadmaps that we are developing under the decarbonization. So thank you very much, Vivek ji, for having me here. I'll stop here and look forward to hear out other speakers as well.
Thank
Many
you very much, Subhi. Welcome. Okay, good introduction to carbon market. Let's go to quick green hydrogen. Somnathji, we have to rush because second session is already started. So please try
Yes,
to conclude and give Chandrima as well a little bit time.
I think my screen is now visible. Green hydrogen, energy transition pathway to decarbonize Indian economy. First, the concept of energy transition and emergence of green hydrogen. The term energy transition refers to the gradual shift towards environment-friendly green energy from fossil fuel-based energy. Now, the fact is that after the Paris Climate Agreement, the demand for grid-based renewable power has already been increased as an alternative to coal-based thermal power. But the generation and supply of renewable energies like solar, wind, hydro fluctuates wildly because they are dependent on climatic conditions as well as geographic locations. Now, in India, the uncertainties in renewable energy generation and also the lack of grid modernization are the major hurdles for stable power supply. Renewable hydrogen emerges to be one of the suitable alternatives to the fossil fuel for producing electricity in future. Now, the categorization of hydrogen based on the production procedure and the type of nature of the hydrogen. Hydrogen basically categorized into 3 categories. First one is gray hydrogen. It is produced from natural gas or coal as source raw materials with significant release of carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, contributing to global warming. This type of hydrogen accounts for about 90% of the total hydrogen production globally. The steam methane reforming technology is currently the most widely used method for industrial hydrogen production in India and other countries across the globe. Now, what is the blue hydrogen? If the gray hydrogen production is combined with the carbon capture and storage facilities to reduce the atmospheric carbon dioxide emission, then the gray hydrogen has been turned into the blue hydrogen. Now, next, the green hydrogen, our subject. In August 2023, the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Government of India, provided a definition of green hydrogen, specifying that the emission of greenhouse gases from the whole production process of hydrogen should not exceed 2 kg carbon dioxide equivalent per kg of hydrogen produced. It is reported that gray hydrogen produces more than 10 kg carbon dioxide equivalent per kg of hydrogen produced if we pursued the life cycle analysis of gray hydrogen production. It has been suggested that green hydrogen can be produced through the electrolysis of water molecules using renewable energy as the source of electricity, and no carbon dioxide emission will take place. This carbon neutral process makes green hydrogen different from other types of hydrogen that rely on fossil fuels. Now, what are the present use of hydrogen in India? Hydrogen is extensively used in different industries of India, like iron and steel industries, oil refineries, fertilizer industries, ammonia production, and methanol production. This hydrogen is gray hydrogen that produced by heavily polluting steam methane reforming methods. Now, what are the environmental disadvantages of SMR technology? Though the SMR technology is widely accepted process for hydrogen production, but it poses certain environmental disadvantages. Number one, significant emission of carbon dioxide to atmosphere, contributing global warming and climate change. Number two, it is an energy intensive process relying heavily on fossil fuels like natural gas and coal. And number three, very high probability of methane release into atmosphere, which is more potential greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide. Now, what are the potentials of green hydrogen as a fuel? Number one, or we may consider it as a advantages of green hydrogen used as a fuel. First, decarbonization of hard to abate industries. Large industrial sectors like iron and steel, fertilizer and cement, where decarbonization is very difficult to achieve, will be able to reduce carbon dioxide emissions significantly by introducing green hydrogen as fuel. Number two, development of green products. Green hydrogen may be used as raw materials, replacing gray hydrogen in industrial production of ammonia by Haber and Bosch process to produce green ammonia. Again,
sorry, Somnath, we have lost you there. And anyway, we are starting with second session. So Chandrima and Somnathji, just wait. We will be doing an introduction session now. Can you stop sharing, Somnathji? We lost you there anyway. Am I audible, everyone? So we will start the introduction session for our second number session. Unfortunately, we are late with the first session today. But nevertheless, we will be taking these two sessions at the later stage around 11 o'clock. So thank you very much. We can see Chandrima and Somnath both is there. We will be getting introduction from you first now. So can you see Dr. Chandrima, if you can unmute yourself and start your camera, and we will go in rounds asking everybody to give their introduction now, as we are already live on YouTube channel. Yeah. So Dr. Chandrima, can you unmute yourself? Or we can go to anybody else. Michael Katz. We have Praful as well.
Good morning.
The second session who has already joined.
Can you hear
Michael,
me?
go ahead. Introduction of yourself.
Can you hear me? Hello? Great. Good morning, everyone. I am Michael Katz, an engineer for now practicing for 50 years, and a big proponent actually for more than 30 years of SMRs, or small modular reactors. And I'm going to be talking about nuclear energy and nuclear applications in India. I look forward to speaking to all of you. Thank you. Unmute yourself, Vivek.
Thank you. There is an echo, so I have to switch off and switch on all the time. So let me go to Praful Chandra now. Praful, if you can introduce yourself.
Thanks, Suman. This is Dr. Praful. I am the Dean of Research at Atria University. We work in the space of artificial intelligence, life science, and energy science. Look forward to the discussion.
Welcome, Praful. Thank you very much for a short and sweet introduction. Let me go to now Dr. Chandrima. Can you unmute yourself and introduce if possible?
Very good morning to you all. Myself, Dr. Chandrima Goswami from Rabindra Bharati University, Kolkata, West Bengal. It's definitely a privilege to be a part of this program. And I'm very grateful to Sir Somnath Banerjee sir and Vivek sir as well, and to the entire program organizers. So should I start my topic? Am I on mute?
No, you are audible.
We will be going with
Audible?
introduction round right now. We'll give you the opportunity for your topic as well. Thank you. Let me
Okay,
go
sir.
to
Thank you.
now Somnath Banerjee ji, if you can unmute yourself, or shall we go to
Yes, I am
Pavitra
Somnath
Chakravarti PK, who is joining us from UK. Very odd time there, isn't it, Pavitra? What's the time there? And which part of US you are in?
Yeah, hi Vivek. Hello everyone. Good morning. Yeah, this is PK Chakravarti. I'm in US. I live next to Washington DC. And Vivek, to answer you, it's about 11:30 here, almost 12 o'clock midnight. So yeah, very brief introduction. I am from IIT Kharagpur and then ISC Bangalore. I did my PhD. Then I completed my law degree in US and currently practicing as a patent lawyer.
Awesome. Thank you, Pavitra, for a quick introduction, and appreciate you are joining at such a late hour. But I know you are a late worker as well. So thank you for joining in, and we
Thank
are
you. Yeah.
waiting for your piece as well. Let me go to Chandrasekhar Chincholkar, Dr. Chandrasekhar, who is also representing us from Singhania and Company, partner to the program like PS University. So go ahead, Chandrasekhar.
Yeah, good morning all. Myself, Dr. Chandrasekhar Chincholkar, partner corporate and ESG at Singhania and Company. Basically doing a lot of work in the area of decarbonization, ESG implementation and corporate advisory at the board level. Thank you so much.
Welcome. Dr. Chandrasekhar. Let me now go to Abhimanyu Rathi. Abhimanyu, you are there because I can't see you. But if you are there, just raise your hand so I can give you a chance. Or let me go to Somnaji in between.
Yes, I am Somnath Banerjee, visiting faculty, Department of
Quick introduction,
Department
Somnaji.
of
Still, you are not
Environmental
audible.
Studies, Rabindra Bharati University, and I am also working as a consultant. Yes, now I am audible.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are. We heard you.
Yes.
University. After that, we missed you.
I am Somnath Banerjee. I am working as a visiting faculty, Department of Environmental Studies, Rabindra Bharati University. I am also working as a consultant climate scientist at Renew Credit, Bengaluru. This is my short introduction. Thank you very much.
Vivek, you're on mute. Vivek, you're on mute.
Okay, so let me introduce Achyut Mohan Dasji, who is also joining us live. So I'm going to give him a chance to speak directly on camera next to me.
Hare Krishna. My name is Achyut Mohan Das. I am into the field of spiritual wellness and leadership to help people selflessly based on the basis of Bhagavad Gita and Vedic literature. So last couple of decades, I have been giving spiritual courses in some IIMs, IITs as a faculty, and some universities abroad, some corporates like Harvard, Google, Stanford, Salesforce, like that. So we give courses designed from the Vedic literature for life, for leadership, for corporate team building, etc. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Achyut Mohandas ji, and welcome to the program. Let me go to Anjana Naha. Can you focus there so we can directly take her from there? Representing CFA Institute USA in India. She is the University Relation Manager. So,
Hi everyone, am I audible? Yes, hi, this is Anjana Nahar. I lead University Relations for CFA Institute. We are considered a gold standard in investment management industry for the last 75 years, over 160 countries. And CFA Institute is one of the big supporters of sustainability all over the world. And I'm very glad and happy to be a part of this panel discussion.
pleasure to have you, Anjana. Thank you very much. I think only person who is left is Abhimanyu Rathi and Vasist Kotra. Are you there? Oh, I think we have done the introduction session. Michael, why don't you, or let me go to Praful first. Praful, if you can give your opening mood point and introduction about your topic, what you want to talk here, and how you see India to become developed in next couple of decades. But before that happens, let me quickly welcome everyone. So ladies and gentlemen, leaders of industry, academia, and in innovation, welcome to FutureScape 2047. Done by my team who are sitting next to me today. Thank you very much for creating such a massive organization and helping us to reach what we are delivering it today. So welcome. 2025 has already reminded us that climate change or climate is no longer a warning. It is a weekly headline across the world. This year, we started in 2025 with Los Angeles fire. So that was the welcome from climate to the world. And it was the most aggressive one, displaced more than 38,000 people in USA. Of course, USA doesn't agree to that. I don't know why. But it's a weekly headline there. And in 48 hours, 38,000 people. That's the massive amount of climate change we are talking about. In Uttarakhand, incessant flash flood. There's 5 in a row we have seen just now, right? Hardly a couple of months back. And not because of distant climate possibility, because of future has arrived and arrived early, right? And at COP30 in Belém, Brazil, first time the world appeared visibly shaken, right? Few of the countries like even India didn't report their carbon accounts to the world. Because nations are finally admitting what science has declared for years, right? We are out in a runway today and only take off the crash remains. At COP30, the world confronted itself, and here are the core signals from COP30, which I want to just remind you all. The world is running out of too later now. Nations agreed climate financing must triple by 2035 to avoid irreversible damage. Adoption of finance is still less than 1% to 15% of what vulnerable nations require. How many of you heard about a nation which is sinking right now, if you know, and they are displacing to Australia? Australia has given them 100 visa to their population. The nation name is Tuvalu. Just look for that nation and the misery they are going in for. And that's all about loss and damage fund, which we need for the countries like those. Fossil fuel subsidy worldwide has exceeded 7 trillion, more than Indian GDP today, right? 4 trillion we are talking about, and they are double of it exactly what we need today in subsidy of dwarfing green investment. So subsidy is much higher, the fuel subsidy, comparing to what we have in the green investment, specifically the green bonds, which we need. So every modeling report shows same conclusion. Incrementalism is equal to catastrophe, right? Only transformation works now. So let me welcome all our panelists and start putting their moot point that from their point of view, their industry thought process. Some of them are from AI, some of them are from startup industry. Abhimanyu is from carbon credit, Sudhi is from the similar industry. So all these people, I want to look into these facts and tell you and tell actually whole world what India is planning to become developed and how they want to become developed as a responsible nation, right? So 2047 is that target, and FutureScape actually gives you that feeling. FutureScape 2047 is designed to showcase to the world through our panelists, of course, esteemed panelists joining all across from US to Middle East to India and every corner in India. And a lot of people have stuck in their flights and still they are making it. So thank you, Praful, for joining in. I appreciate that. Thank you, Abhimanyu Rathi, who is stuck in Hyderabad because of, that airlines are not moving. Even Dr. Achyutanand has arrived very late at night yesterday. So Achyutan Mohanji, thank you very much for making it today. Really appreciate that. Everyone who is joining, let me give a chance to Praful now. Praful, please go ahead and give the opening statements.
Thank you, Vivek. And thank you for having me. I think enough has been said, Vivek, about why we are here, the challenges that we are facing as a planet, and the challenges we are facing as a country. And the way we look at it is that if you look at the last 100 years, the 20th century industrial revolution, we definitely had huge economic growth. But if you think about how this economic growth was achieved driven by fossil fuels, you realize that we basically borrowed from the future to pay for the present. Right. And this achievement of economic growth happened through the degradation of the planet's health. And all the planetary boundaries, the capacity of all the different parts of what the planet is capable of supporting, whether it's in terms of carbon dioxide concentration in the atmosphere, which we are seeing in Delhi, whether it is in freshwater consumption and the pollution of the rivers that we are seeing in India. These are all challenges of our times. Now, for India, the problem is extremely complex because not only do we have to protect the environment, but at the same time, we have to achieve economic growth. And what we work on at the university is kind of saying, how do we balance these two seemingly contradictory requirements? That how do we continue to grow economically? And how do we still try to protect the environment? I'll briefly mention 3 ways we are looking at this and then leave the floor for others to talk about. We talked about carbon markets. Now, one of the big problems in carbon markets, and you being from CFA, would realize that one of the big challenges in the carbon markets is greenwashing, right? People really taking credit for carbon reduction, or which has not really been achieved in the ground. Now, here we believe that one potential solution can lie in satellite imaging. So we focus quite a bit on satellite imaging as a way to monitor the Earth. And given the fall in the cost of satellite data, given the increase in the resolution of satellite imaging, and given the increase in AI capabilities to process these images, we do quite a bit of work in satellite imaging to track the planetary health. Happy to talk more about it as we progress further. The second thread that we work on is looking at the combination of AI and biology, because we believe the manufacturing has to undergo a transformation. And the way manufacturing will undergo a transformation is with biomanufacturing. There's again a very key focus area which is being driven by the central government, saying that we need to change the way manufacturing gets done in the country. And we believe the answer may lie in changing from chemical processes to biological processes using synthetic biology combined with artificial intelligence to solve problems like how do we process the chemical effluents that are coming out of factories and being dumped into our rivers today directly. Can we process them using biology? Can we process them using microbes to reduce river pollution? The third area that we work on is the energy. I think people talked about green hydrogen and water. Both are important. But if you look at the Indian energy situation, we are in a unique position here where we are actually an energy positive nation. We generate more energy than we can consume. So the problem is not really generation. The problem is coordination, because the time at we generate the energy and the time at which we peak our consumption are disconnected, they are different. So here, again, the Ministry of Power has come up with something called the India Energy Stack, which focuses on energy digitization. And that's a third area of focus for us. I'll stop here. And as we progress, happy to talk about each one of these in more detail.
Indeed, we will be waiting to listening in that part of that piece of discussion as well. Quite interesting one, right? AI in biotechnology, biosphere as well. Am I audible? Okay. So let me go to now Chandrasekhar or Michael, whosoever is able to open their mic, and let's listen in their mood point about how they see Develop India need to transition from here to next 25 years to become a developed nation, and that too responsible and sustainable.
Yeah, I'll go first.
Chandrasekhar, okay, please go ahead.
Sorry? Should I start?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. See, as a lot of other speakers have also spoken, we are aware that India needs to have a significantly higher contribution in terms of internal generation of energy. And decarbonization is one bigger area which can actually help in terms of how things can actually help in terms of greening of businesses. So that the challenge actually lies in terms of per capita energy consumption, which is roughly around 1300 units as of now for India. World over, the energy consumption levels on a per capita basis are significantly higher. It is almost, if you look at US, it is almost 13,800 units now. So India needs to really look at in terms of how they can generate energy better, as well as consumption of, oil replaced by various other, fuels like ethanol, green hydrogen, etc. So it is important that, we have more indigenous production of everything, which is the focus of the government of India in terms of, discussing and allowing so many production link incentive schemes, for the industry. The government has given almost 2 lakh crore worth of incentives for various PLI schemes, and at the same time, industry is working towards manufacturing of cell. If you look at transportation as a sector, if you look at the kind of EV penetration government is talking about, we really need something like 740 gigawatt hour of batteries or cell manufacturing, which needs to be there for 30%, sort of a new vehicle, production in India, sales in India, which will probably be in the range of 8 to 10% penetration on all India basis. So these are all challenges that we are facing. Green hydrogen is obviously the future for India, because long distance transportation, which is basically 400 to 450 kilometers on a daily basis for both people as well as goods transport, is the real solution for India. And I think that is where the focus should be. Obviously, the government needs to give bigger incentives, and obviously there is much more investment in R&D that is required. If all of us are aware that India today has around 0.6 to 0.7% contribution to investment in R&D as a percentage of GDP. Bigger countries or more developed countries or more R&D focused countries like Israel, South Korea, Japan, they have percentages like 6.5, 5.2, and 4.5. China, even at this size of the economy, spends almost 3% on R&D. So these are all areas which are of challenge for us, and I think we need to really focus in terms of how things can actually move ahead. The culture of R&D needs to be developed, and I think the success of Mangalyaan, Chandrayaan, and BrahMos needs to be replicated on the private sector side, which is the real need for the country. And I think the corporate sector, especially the private sector, needs to take a deeper, longer bet in terms of R&D investments and really go ahead in terms of how things can actually move forward. I think that's the real focus India needs to have. Because if you are looking at the FutureScape 2040 or Vikasit Bharat 2047, which basically means India as a developed country by 2047, I think the dependence on energy is something that needs to really go down internationally, and it has to be generated locally. So this is where my thought process is, and Vivek, I'll stop here. Maybe in the latter part of the day, I can contribute towards other areas, speak briefly about green hydrogen and other areas here. Thank you so much. You're on mute, Vivek.
Okay, thank you very much, Chandrasekhar. Really appreciate Dr. your view on how India can progress. Quite solid, sharp. And now we have two people to speak on green hydrogen. One is, of course, you, and we will also be asking Somnathji to talk about the same. Now, let me go to Michael. Michael, your opening moot point, where you see SMR and nuclear energy can help us in this energy transition specifically, which India is challenged entirely right now. So how you see that happening, and what are your point of views?
Well, actually, I'm very positive. These are exciting times, and India is moving very, very rapidly. Modi has brought in some very interesting incentives for changing legislation, actually, to allow private sector involvement in the nuclear sector, including foreign direct investment. And there's issues that people are unaware of, that India was basically first in Asia with nuclear energy back in the 50s. And there is a lot of research and development that is already taking place over the last 20, 30 years. The interesting thing that's coming about, and most recently, is the collaborations made by India with Russia, China, the US, France. And these are very positive signs that there's going to be a resurgence of baseload power from nuclear. That is a positive side to everything. When we talk about ESG, basically what we're talking about is impact on the livelihood and well-being of people. And with the resurgence of nuclear, which India is really pushing to the future, the demands that are going to be required, because power demand is increasing exponentially. Currently, India is producing about 300 gigawatts. And the requirement, though, coming in the next 10 years is going to be threefold. As we develop more sectors that are being developed with EVs, as well as data centers, as well as basic economic growth of the general populace, having more demands with air conditioning and other aspects. I'm very positive on the future, and I look forward to talking about more specifics. This topic is very big, as I've realized over the last few months of doing more research, and I'm going to speak later about the myths of the dangers of nuclear, and hopefully we'll be able to dispel some of the problematic resistance. Thank you so much.
So thank you very much, Michael, for your opening piece. Really appreciate that. Yes, I know we were discussing several points in the last couple of months in preparation of FutureScape 2047, that how India is rapidly developing in this area, specifically nuclear, SMR, etc., and what you wanted to discuss. Thank you. Let me go to now Somnathji or Abhimanyu. Oh, so hi, Abhimanyu. Welcome. I know you have missed your flight in Hyderabad. Still, you made to join here. Online, you are joining, and you are also traveling to join our second session. So, Abhimanyu, if you can, are you there? Sorry, I don't know. He left. Okay, he is still facing some issue. Nevertheless, let me go to then Somnathji. So let me go to Dr. Chandrima first. So, Dr. Chandrima, what do you think about sustainable development, and what is your moot point here? Is she there? Sorry. Yeah, you are there. Okay.
Yes, sir. Am I audible, sir?
Yes, audible.
I actually just want to share a few things with with respect to the different aspects, different progress we are already doing on utilizing green hydrogen. And therefore, as time is constraint, I would focus on the pinpoints, like the 5 pilot projects we are already trying regarding the 37 vehicles and 9 refueling stations from Delhi to Agra. Then there is for the route of Pune to Mumbai, Bhubaneswar to Puri. And also the hydrogen for heritage project is there, where we plan for 35 green hydrogen related trains for the hill stations, say for example Kalka to Shimla, to meet the mm, zero emissions. As related to different SDGs, we know the SDG 7 as related to the clean affordable energy. Then there is the climate action, what we should do for the to mitigate the climate change targets, and therefore accordingly the missions are going on. And last but not the least, I would like to mention that there will be still economic development. We should focus on it, but we should keep in mind that how much we should be having impactful trials as regarded to environmental conservation as well as societal well-being. That should also be the focus to be noted, so that we can go ahead with our mission of clean energy. Thank you, sir. Thank you, organizers as well.
Much, Chandrima, for putting your piece together. Let's go to. Okay, so let me go to the live, speakers. Ask Achyut Mohan Das ji your opinion piece on what you think, how India can transition into this sustainable living part, specifically through spirituality and to the path of spirituality.
So thank you, Vivek ji. And I really admire the thought process of many of the speakers here, right from the first one, where I think Prafulla ji spoke about we're stealing from the future to develop the present. So yeah, very true. So I would just like to add the spiritual parameter to, in addition to what wonderful things all of you have contributed already. You see, in Ramayana, the concept of Ram Rajya is taught. Or in the Srimad Bhagavatam, the same thing is called as Vasudeva Kutumbakam. When the worldview I have as an individual is that of a home, a family, that this planet is my home, and especially it is going to be the home of the future generation. So then every desire I have, every activity, every choice I do, I make, I will be conscious about its implications on everyone. How do I see a place as home and other people as my family members? When I recognize our common fundamental foundation, that we all are children of God. You see, in Bhagavad Gita, the chapter number 13 actually talks about this. It talks about 3 factors: Ishvara, Prakriti, and Jiva. And of course, it talks about Kala. So it says, it establishes how Ishvara, the Supreme Lord, is the origin, and he's the father of all of us. Plus, Prakriti is his place. This place is created. So we call it Ma Prakriti, which means it's our mother. So when we have mother and father, we recognize each other as brothers and sisters. The moment we accept this, our life becomes wonderful. Think about this. Why did so many foreign invaders like Mughals and Britishers, why did they choose to invade India? Why not others? Some of you are talking about GDP. India's contribution to world GDP was 33% before the Mughals invaded. When Mughals left, they left it down to 15%. That's when the Britishers came in. And when Britishers left, they brought it down to 3%. Why did they choose to attack India? It is there in the in the British records, in the Mughal records. What is that? Even after the Mughals invaded India, India was, like Lord Macaulay writes in his report, this is a country where everybody is happy, and across the length and breadth of the nation, there's not even a single beggar. So we must go and break the backbone of this nation, which is the spiritual wellness they have. And because they see each other as fellow citizens, fellow children of God, they share everything, and that's why they are prosperous. So Rama Rajya is to bring back that relationship, that consciousness,
and that can really develop the nation from within. Once it is developed from within, people are inspired from within, like you all are having this noble cause, then the external activities will also follow in line. So I'll share more in the further. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And that's from its spiritual side. I will be straight away going to Praful and take his view that what he sees AI and sustainability is making human life for, and what is the direction we are taking. So let me take that direction and then I will come to Anjana.
Sure. Thanks, Vivek. So first, let me acknowledge the elephant in the room when we talk about AI and sustainability, right? The first thing that we get challenged with is that the amount of energy that is required to power the data centers, where AI runs, is actually counterproductive to the environment, right? So how can we morally and ethically speak about using AI for improving climate change or solving climate change or making Earth more sustainable? There's definitely merit in that argument that AI is a huge energy guzzler. I don't think we should shy away from that fact. But I think we need to find solutions to that. Now, there are a couple of ways that is being addressed. That's not my area of specialization, but perhaps Michael can talk more about it and others can talk more about it. Broadly, what we see is either we'll need to rely on nuclear energy or we will need to rely on renewable energy to power these data centers, right? I don't think we can shy away from the fact that the demand for AI is going to continuously grow as we move into the future. And any attempts to say that we will not pursue this path because the energy demand is too high, I think is foolhardy, because it will be counterproductive as far as the economics of India is concerned. So we have to accept the fact that we will have to rely on some form of energy to power these AI data centers. So I wanted to get that out of the way because that often comes up, right? I think the opportunity that we see for AI is, as far as climate change is concerned, the strongest opportunity that we see is basically redefining how industrial revolution happened, right? The industrial revolution, as I said, was very powerful, helped impact the lives of many, many people. And the second area that we see is medicine, right? Human health. In both these areas, we see huge opportunities for AI. And I will I'll say a couple of lines on both why we see that. So on the industrial revolution, our primary process of manufacturing has been extremely polluting. It has been polluting for the planet in terms of the air we breathe, right? If you look at what's happening in the Delhi and the northwestern part of India, the pollution is primarily from either cars, vehicles, or it is from agriculture, crop burning, or it is from manufacturing, right? All these areas need a fundamental shift in how they work, right? So whether we talk about moving agriculture away from chemical fertilizers to biofertilizers, so that the soil that has been degraded over the last 3-4 decades has to be revived. And this is not a theoretical concept. We have solutions today which work, right? So it's primarily about driving change in the behavior of the economy. So moving from chemical fertilizers to biofertilizers, moving from traditional chemical-based manufacturing to biomanufacturing, right? Moving from just dumping the effluents that come out of chemical waste plants into rivers directly and treating them with bioremediation solutions are all solutions. Now, where AI is able to help is able to accelerate the innovation in each one of these processes, accelerate the innovation in finding biofertilizers, accelerate the innovation in finding bioremediation solutions, and accelerate the treatment of chemical effluents using new technology. So think of AI as an accelerator which works across different vertical applications in all these things. So that for us is the way we look at it. We will think of AI like electricity, right? It changed manufacturing, it changed the way the economy worked, it changed the way we lived our lives. I think AI is going to be a horizontal which will help us attack problems in energy, help us attack problems in agriculture, help us attack problems in manufacturing. So it's an accelerator through and through.
I would like to, Vivek. Hello.
Go
Vivek.
ahead. Go ahead, Michael. Go ahead.
I would like to add to what Professor Praful is saying, especially on, the importance of data center development and this the new acceleration of AI that it's essential for any kind of development, and it's going to be critical for moving ahead on everything. One thing that we are looking at here, and it's part of what I'm doing, is deep ocean water as a cooling mechanism. And in India, we have opportunities on coastlines. I think one of the challenges is getting governments and private enterprise working together also to locate facilities that are near the resources that can reduce the cost dramatically. 40 to 60% of data center is cooling and the ongoing. But if you locate the data center near the coastline where you have access to deep ocean water, you can reduce this dramatically. And as well, you can run your processes and everything off of renewable energy, wind, solar, nuclear, everything. But the cooling can be taken care of by deep ocean water. And that includes, opportunities in actual processor cooling as well, which is coming at the forefront now with the development of AI chips. But I think, again, I'm positive. I think we are moving in the right direction in all of these areas. And I'm a big proponent of AI as well as an accelerator, as making things more efficient in every aspect of our lives.
Michael, could not agree with you more. So as we speak, we have identified coastal areas in Karnataka, which is a state in the southern part of India, exactly with this motivation, because we realize that ocean water is a huge resource for cooling these data centers, which is a huge need. People think of energy, but there's a huge water need for cooling these data centers. And second, also, we are working on some prototypes as we speak in the X Prize for desalinating ocean water using the heat from data centers. So that's kind of like closing the loop. So a lot of stuff, interesting stuff happening on our side.
Yeah. We're going in the right direction.
Indeed. Thank you very much, Michael and Praful, as well as Achyut Mohandas ji, to giving three different perspectives which are aligning together. Let me go to another side of academia, CFA Institute representative who is here. And let me ask Anjana. Anjana, your point of view, how you see education institute, specifically professional institutes like CFA, is working in this area, and what all you guys are trying to build up with a professional system so that there is a capacity building as well.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. A very good morning again. It's been my pleasure to listen to such fabulous minds and your point of view about diverse subjects, right? But when we speak about India 2047, I think India has already overtaken China and become the most populous nation in the world. And we have a lot of youth or young population here that needs to be skilled, right? That needs to be taught and educated as how to take India forward for the 2047 vision. And this is where CFA Institute has thought of various products or certification that can help individuals increase their understanding of various subjects. And see, when someone takes something like sustainability in finance forward, ethics and integrity needs to be front and center of this person. And this all, I think sustainability comes at a cost, right? But somebody who's very ethically grounded and has integrity as front and center will make for good professional in the field and to take the India for 2047 forward. So by this, I would like to conclude that CFA Institute has already taken notice that there'll be a great need of professionals that are equipped to take this kind of mammoth task forward. And we have a sustainability certificate around it. We have an India-specific BRSR research that we do year on year, which undertakes study of various companies, industries, what are they doing in this field. We do a lot of research and advocacy in sustainability. For all of this, we are always talking about how this is no longer, I mean, we all agree on, as this is no longer some just a yeah. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Anjana, for that piece. It's very important that international institutions like CFA Institute is also looking into this area and trying to build that capacity in India. Yeah, and you guys are in forefront of that. I appreciate that. Now let me go to other few speakers. Praful, I am coming back. Sorry, Pavitra, I am coming back to you now. Of course, it must be very late for you, and we have few more speakers have joined in. As you can see, the slowly rooms are filling. So now flight has started working, and people are able to join us here. Some people have also got misplaced. So Pavitra, if you can start your camera, and I wanted to bring in bring it to you in this discussion specifically on the part of what do you see as a new, you work with GE, etc. So under new technology, and I'm waiting Abhimanyu eagerly now, Abhimanyu and Bala Vigneshwar, who are running their own startups as well as carbon credit systems, and one is an AI and agentic system, to look into what they are doing. So let me hear from you, Pavitra. What do you think where the technology is going and how India should build up their technology stack to tackle the sustainability in the way we want and what we are discussing today?
Yeah, thank you, Vivek. Actually, when you gave me this slot, I couldn't ask for anything better, because if you look at the topic, it's how India can achieve developed nation. I stress that developed nation status by 2047 while remaining responsible and sustainable. So both of these two factors, being responsible and being sustainable, are related to, in a way, intellectual property and intellectual property analysis. So what I mean by that is most of the developed nations these days, they are focusing on not only developing a technology, but also protecting that and growing on that. So that is exactly where we are working. When I was working with General Electric, and later on I worked with Siemens, and then I worked with Salesforce, and currently I have my own law firm. So what we do is strategic pattern mapping for technology and market dominance. What we mean by that is, which is identifying critical technology inflection points where intellectual property protection creates maximum competitive leverage. This approach translates reactive patent filing by proactively aligning protection, which is strategies for market opportunities and competitor positioning. Now, organizations can establish dominant positions by focusing on core enabling technologies, whatever we are discussing here, that underpin entire product ecosystems rather than incremental improvements. So there are 4 or 5 major points. One is technology ecosystem analysis. Second, what we do is competitive white space identification. So which areas of the technology has not been patented yet. Then we get into platform technology protection, how to go about protecting that. Then what we do is cross-industry application mapping, like which are the areas they're connected with each other and you can map that. And finally, where we come is strategic filing sequencing. What will come after what? So this is how we go about analyzing the sustainability and protectability. And that is what I'll recommend for any industry here, any industry specialist here. And that's the way I think we can step up in 2047 to a developed nation status. So that's all I had in brief.
Thank you, Pavitra. Thank you, Pavitra. Thank you, Pavitra. I appreciate that. Of course, we have energy experts like Michael Clarks, etc. They will be definitely taking over on this topic. But before we go there, let me get introduction with our other speakers who are also joining for the main event, which is happening in the auditorium, and we will be shifting there with a 5-minute break very soon. So we have three more speakers who have just joined in, and one more speaker is going to join directly in the auditorium. Let me give a chance to Woody. Woody, if you can start your camera, who is joining from Switzerland. Of course, he's a Harvard graduate and working there in Switzerland. Of course, your timing also must be odd. Woody, wait. Woody, you are there?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now. Go ahead.
Great. Well, just a very brief introduction. I'm not a specialist in the subject area that this conference is all about, but rather in a methodology for thinking about the future in different ways, and that's called scenario planning. So, the way that conventionally a lot of people in business plan for the future is based on projections or forecasts. But scenario planning, it takes a slightly different approach, which is not even slightly different, very different, in which it actually tries to visualize alternative ways that the future could develop based on today's uncertainties. So I'm not going to go into all the details here. And I have a very short presentation to give in the auditorium, which I hope you'll all have a chance to wander over and see in a few minutes. But essentially, I strongly recommend that for all of you who are looking so far into the future, that you, of course, we want to retain all the optimism that exists in this sector and in the room. But at the same time, it behooves everyone to sort of sort out the different possibilities that there are for how the future could unfold, because in different futures, in alternative futures, different strategies may apply. And that's really where the rubber meets the road with scenario planning, is not just visualizing alternative futures, because that would be a very nice parlor game, but not much more than that, but rather to actually say in each of these different futures, what would be the rational response for an industry or even for a company. So in a few minutes, I'll be presenting this with a few slides, not in great detail, but enough that maybe it will whet your appetite to learn more about the methodology. So I'm looking forward to that. And thank you very much, Vivek, for inviting me to be part of this conference. It looks like it's a great thing so far, and I'm looking forward to the next opportunity to speak in front of all of you and also all of the students.
And even you are speaking on 10th and 11th April, maybe physically available in India, in Bangalore. So thank you very much for that, Woody. When you have given an idea of future, which is uncertain, and you have a methodology to reach, let me ask Achyut Mohandas ji, how that uncertainty can be addressed not only by sustainable thinking, strategic, way of approaching scientifically, but as well as a mindset. What do you think, Achyut Mohandas ji?
The Vedic scriptures, there is a concept of sevak. What do we mean by sevak? Sevak means servant attitude, service attitude. So when we have the mood of the exploitation attitude, when our attitude is to exploit, like I am the enjoyer, I am the center of the creation. Okay, everything is supposed to be for my pleasure. So even for $1 extra benefit, I am ready to put others into a loss of thousands of dollars. The nature, or I don't care, because I am the final center of life.
The greed.
Yeah, the greed. But when I shift that to the sevak attitude, that I'm here to serve, because life is a very small journey, right? The time just flies by. So nobody remembers who was the richest guy on the planet in 1930s, or who was the person with the maximum grades in any university. Nobody remembers. You remember people who live by legacy of values, who lived for others, who lived for a selfless cause, a selfless purpose. Whether it is Nelson Mandela, it's Martin Luther King, whether it is Subhash Chandra Bose. Look at the history. Who are the people we admire? Who are the people we would like to be called in line with? So the entire idea is that life becomes very happy. You see a mother is the most joyful person on the planet. Why? Because she's able to offer selfless love and service to a baby. And baby probably is the second most fortunate person on the planet because he's receiving that selfless love and service. Similarly, when we bring in that attitude towards the universe, towards the nature around us, towards other people and living entities around us, that brings great joy from within. So this shift, how do we bring this shift from being an enjoyer to being together, to being together one team, to being servants, to being adders of some value in the society? We bring in this shift when we bring God into picture, when we bring values into picture. And this shift changes a lot of things. And I conclude with this example. You look at Titanic. Titanic, you see, at that point of time when it was the biggest creation man had ever made. And I heard that most of the people who were traveling on that first voyage of Titanic were there just for the point of being there. Like they didn't need to go from point A to point B. So it was that historical. But that Titanic sank. Why did it sink? Because it did not have the right compass, right direction. $1 billion ship, but $1 compass was missing. Similarly, we may be Titanics with great technology, with great resources at our disposal. But we as humankind, we as India or any other nation, really need the right direction. We may have the best speed, we may have the best resources. Yeah, we do have. We just need the right direction, where to use them. A knife in the hand of a surgeon can save a person, but the same knife in the hand of a thief can kill a person. So we have AI, but more important is how we use our natural intelligence to use the AI, where to use the AI. So this can be brought by not deleting anything, by not subtracting anything in what we have, by adding spiritual life, by adding spiritual factor, by adding that one dimension, that one variable, which completes the loop. So thank you.
Thank you, Achyut Mohandas-ji. I appreciate that view. Let me now welcome Bala Vigneshwar. Bala, who is running his own company. Of course, he has a legacy with different leading company like LTI, Mindtree, etc. So why don't you quickly introduce yourself, Bala, and then give your moot point before we move on. And we will be slowly shifting all the chairs. So everyone, please wait for 5 minutes after Bala, and I think he won't be able to join. So another one is speaker, Vasist, introduce himself, because we are shifting to main hall where 500 students are waiting for us. 500 audiences are waiting for us. So Bala, if you can quickly.
So hi everyone. So I'm Bala Vigneshwaran. So 16 years into industry, mostly into IT, building AI products, automation products. That's been my legacy. And last 1 year, I'm into a startup named Augment Apps, and we built a product, QRaptor, an AI agent native platform. I know, I think we are talking about sustainability, and we are in AI, which is the most environmental killer. That's how it's been spoken about. So what my take on that, or whatever I was discussing with Vivek also, is that yes, technology cannot be stopped. It's going to evolve. Everything, human keeps evolving, so we cannot stop the evolution. But I think what we will have to do is handle things responsibly. How we are going to make sure that we use it responsibly so that it benefits us. It's not that we are benefiting it. So I think it's not the other way around. And that responsibility starts from also understanding where to use AI, where not to use AI. I think that's what I keep talking to my customers when they start talking. It's not that everything and everywhere we start applying technology, right? It makes sense or not is the first question to ask in different stages. So it starts from there and seeing how we can use and how we can apply it. I think anyway, that's the core reason of us starting our startup also, to see how practically we can use AI, not just a magical sauce for showcasing or trying to do some magic out of it. So I think I'll stop there. We can discuss more in detail later.
Indeed. And even the audience is waiting to hear your view and how AI will change the world. Because recently one podcast of Nikhil Kamath became with Elon Musk became very viral. He's saying that there is no need of human beings now, at least to work. So we would like to hear that story from your side as well. Thank you very much, Bala, for coming and joining us today and putting your point of view. Let me go to now Vasist. Vasist, if you can unmute yourself, if you are in location, he's in remote areas of Meghalaya. Actually, he's the really living the sustainable life, being a professional in sustainability with agriculture as a background. Vasist, if you can unmute yourself, I know you are struggling with your line. But if you can unmute yourself and start your camera, quick introduction from your side. Otherwise, I will be going to either Michael to get his view on the energy side, or Somnath ji, if you can put your point of view as well. I think Vasist is still stuck with his line. So let me go to either Michael or Chandrasekhar, if you can finish your point, which you are alluding to earlier in the discussion, or Somnath ji, if you can complete your piece. Also, we will be giving chance to, there are few of the people who have joined as an audience, but they have a very credible background as well. Would like to invite them to introduce themselves, what they do in this field. We have Kantharaj doing a massive work, getting appreciated by Government of India recently. We have Atanuji, who is also a protege of our institution. Vasist, yes, we can see you. Go ahead and introduce yourself, and then we will move to Chandrasekhar and then in the board, and Suvi as well.
Yeah, sorry for my delay.
Vasist,
Sorry for my delay. I actually have a signal issue. So, agriculture, and apart from that, we do even consult on various types of social
problem there. You can stop your camera. Yeah, can you try once more? Maybe we will have a better line with you. And he also tried to come back from Meghalaya yesterday night, and his flight was also cancelled. And he has to travel 6 hours in Meghalaya. You can understand his pain as well. So thank to Indigo, who has helped our event to become much better and more challenged, and show that what sustainability is all about. Okay, so Vasist, we can't hear. Let me go to Chandrasekhar Chincholkar ji, and can you finish your piece as well?
So Vivek, the green hydrogen presentation is in the next session, right? Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
Dr. Chandrasekhar, we can hear you.
Yeah, okay. So what I said was green hydrogen presentation is in the next session, right? I can't hear you, Vivek. You are on mute.
So you want to discuss next session?
Yeah,
that's
I
fine.
mean,
So I will go to
I'll just make
or Suvi, if you can put your
I'll make 1 or 2 points, and then maybe we can have the go to the next session, right?
Yes. Bala.
So in terms of the real need for the country and where do we see ourselves, as by 2047, India being the youngest nation today with an average age of 29. I think we can from a green energy perspective, as well as production of biomass and everything, can become a significant producer of hydrogen in the future. Important parameter is that we need to really focus on nature-based solutions also, which is a very, very important parameter for India. As I think Shubhi also mentioned in her speech that Green Credit is the program that Government of India has started, and the guidelines have come in 2023, and we are likely to see the witnessing of carbon markets taking off next year. So I think important parameter is that we should look at how we can really use corporate CSR money towards green plantation. And I think government is trying to do digitization of all the land records as far as forest is concerned, so that we are able to move ahead in terms of how CSR money can be utilized. And, a lot of corporates are interested in green credit programs. I am in touch with few companies who are basically looking at doing plantation of 4,000-5,000 acres of bamboo, and how they can utilize that for green credit and also increase the chances for better livelihood for farmers who actually take care of those plantations. So I think India is definitely emerging into a different scenario altogether. I think bamboo can contribute a lot significantly, and bamboo can actually become one of the largest raw materials available for green fuel. I think that's the most important point. I have been a contributor to Niti Aayog in terms of some of the policy inputs for bamboo industry vision 2030. So I think that's the most important parameter to look at. And I think we need to really worry about the per capita energy consumption needs, because in terms of transportation, we are at a juncture of having 1.5 million 1,500 buses per million population. If you look at countries like Thailand, Brazil, South Africa, they are at 5,000 buses per million population. So India definitely, if 60% of the population is going to stay in the cities by 2030 as per Niti Aayog report, I think we need to really worry about more green transportation. I think that's the real need for the country, and we need to really worry about short-term as well as long-term transportation. I think these are very, very important thoughts from a energy perspective as well as from FutureScape 2047, because that is how it will propel the growth, and that is how it will help in terms of reducing pollution and decarbonization taking shape in totality. Thank you so much.
Just hold on. Hi. So thank you, Chandrasekhar. I think you put your piece. Michael, why don't you take this forward and give your last concluding remarks here?
Very interesting discussions, and I couldn't agree more on how applications, especially in transportation and other aspects, and all of this touches on the development of AI as well, because AI is making things much more efficient, and plays a very important role. It's kind of circular when you look at, yes, we need more energy, so yes, we need to drive AI, but then again, it's how we distribute and how we make this. And I'll make one more comment as well on the we've designed for Oman, which is near to across the Indian Ocean, for a net zero data center, basically using wind and possibly solar, but with deep ocean water cooling, we eliminate one of the biggest hurdles. But it also, we talk about efficiency and cost, because the actual installation is almost equal to the cost of the installation of chillers and cooling towers and everything else. So we have another opportunity. And I, of course, a big proponent of SMRs that can power data centers as well. And again, clustering things in the right locations. And as the professor pointed out, India is going in the right direction, locating on the seacoast and in areas. So again, I'm very positive on the direction we're going. And I really believe India has the talent, mentioning the youth and everything, but India exports so many brains that power so many things all over the world. It's a credit to the education system, and I think in future there's a great opportunity for India to be at the forefront of everything, including nuclear energy.
Thank you, Michael, for that one. Go to Bala.
Can I add a significant input to the green
Yes,
energy?
go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry, I'm not able to hear you, Somnathji.
Yes. Now I am audible. I am audible. I am audible.
Yeah, we can hear
Yes,
you.
you are.
Yes. Just I want to add a very significant input to green hydrogen, that India being an agriculture-based country and also the highest populated nation, India generates a huge amount of biodegradable waste materials from agriculture and domestic sectors. The accumulated biomass can be a very cheap raw material for green hydrogen production, because hydrogen can be produced by gasification of biomass in a low oxygen environment with release of very little amount of carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide. This hydrogen considered as green because the carbon released in gasification is negligible compared to the carbon sequestered by the raw material biomass through its entire life cycle. These type of green hydrogen plants can be set up at the waste dumping sites, leading to sustainable waste management. These measures will keep cities and urban areas clean, and problems of surface water and soil contamination can easily be prevented. An innovative technology for producing hydrogen from biomass has been developed by a team of researchers led by Dr. Dasappa from the Indian Institute of Science, Bengaluru. The process consists of two steps. In the first step, biomass is converted into syngas or synthesis gas, a hydrogen-rich fuel gas mixture in a reactor using oxygen and steam. In the second step, pure hydrogen is generated from syngas using an indigenously developed low-pressure gas separation unit. This project was also supported by the Ministry of New and Renewable Energy and the Department of Science and Technology of the Government of India. The team of researchers also acknowledges the support extended by the Indian Oil Corporation Limited in scaling up the technology to produce 0.25 tons of hydrogen per day for use in hydrogen-powered fuel cell buses. So green hydrogen production from biodegradable agricultural and municipal waste materials is a perfect example of circular economy and innovation supported by industries. The cost of green hydrogen from a waste biomass will invariably be cheaper than that from other processes. So if we look forward to the FutureScape 2047 India, so the decarbonization pathway of Indian economy, I think it is the use of green hydrogen, because India government is promoting the green hydrogen in large scale. This is the input from my side. Thank you very much.
Very clear. Thank you. Very clear. Thank you.
You're muted.
Vivek, you are on mute.
Sekharji, you are visible. You are raising the hands. But
Okay.
Vivek ji is, I think, muted.
Sorry, can you hear
I
me?
think Vivek
I
is
was talking
Vivek is
before.
muted. Yeah.
Okay.
Now you are audible.
Yeah, I was talking to Bala and asking him. Yeah, can you? Yeah, I was talking to Bala and trying to understand that how AI will help India to become sustainable and faster enough. Why? Because we have a sustainability target of net zero as a India country has taken 2070, while India has to develop by 100 years of its independence, which is 2047. So can you guide us that what you think AI or agentic AI will be playing role here as specific to that part?
Yeah, I think this we discussed last time when we had a discussion also. See, basically, any process or any change when you want to enforce in any organization, me coming from tech background and being in corporates, no change can happen when it does not affect their day to day. right? And unless you make it part of their life cycle, part of the process life cycle, the change cannot happen, or things cannot happen in a new way of thinking, or new way of approach cannot work. So today, I think agentic AI has become the way of working in a lot of sectors. A lot of things are being done by agents. So one of the key thing which we should consider doing is that how do we make agents aware of this sustainability, right? How do you make agents understand what is the ESG is all about, what is the way to report, what is the way to understand. So it becomes part of the way of working that agents can start understanding this, and they can start coming out with recommendations, or starting with implementing it in different way, using something like distributed compute, which we were talking about. So what if an agent can understand this particular area is where I can distribute this particular GPU load, so that you don't have to overload a one particular region to become more. So there are various aspects. So one key point which I wanted to talk about is, I think we should make these systems aware about this ESG, so that because these are the systems taking decisions, doing actions in the new trend or new way of working, we should make them also to be aware about this. I think that's a key first point, Vivek.
Thank you very much for that, Bala. I really appreciate that. Now, last words. Anyone wants to conclude? Woody, Michael, Praful, anyone before we go to the main session? So everybody, I will be carrying you through Zoom there, and of course you will be joining on the screen. But anyone who wants to conclude the session, please go ahead, and then we will give chance to audience as well to speak up and talk their thought process on this or the ongoing discussion.
I would like to
I would
add
like
here.
to do.
Yeah, please, Michael.
Go ahead, Shubi.
All right, thank you. So I just want to add to the discussion over here before we close this session. There are two things that we shall keep in mind while talking about either 2047 goals or becoming net zero by 2070, that how we take a both top down and bottom up approach together. And I think mechanisms like carbon market, green credit program, which I was talking about, plays very crucial role, where all the frameworks are coming from top down, but it is uniquely coming up with the bottom up projects, community based projects, and all of these projects needs to be linked very well to the AI if we talk about greenwashing and how we can reduce these greenwashing perfectly. So if we see a lot of mechanisms already in place, how we can talk about the credibility, ensuring and linking the AI to the system, it will actually help us become net zero very soon with the proper credible system. So that is this one thing I wanted to mention before we conclude this. Over to you, Michael. Thank you.
I just wanted to make mention of something that we've just started recently. I've just assembled a team of people to work on AI in Oman, to connect not only researchers, experts in all fields, SMEs, and students who are graduating. Again, the aspect of moving forward requires livelihood development, and the use of AI to be able to connect resources is incredibly important, and we need to employ our youth. This is what's going to drive the economy. Now, utilizing tools of AI, we will be able to connect people, whether it be, as I said, researchers or companies or SMEs, to developing, whether it's tenders from the government or initiatives by private enterprise. But we need to start looking at how we can create common databases that can be all connected by AI and better use the resources, which is, at the end of the day, it's our human resources and people who are going to be working on ESG and other things to develop the economy. And again, it comes back to wellness. You know, if we don't take care of our environment, we won't live well. And this is something that I would like to see also happening in India, as a tool to connect everything.
Yeah.
Thank you very much,
Last comment
Michael,
from my
for that.
side.
Now we will be taking 5 minutes.
Hello. One last comment from my side.
We want
Hello.
you to be part of.
Hello. Hello, Vivek. One last comment from my
Okay,
side.
can you mute there? Let me speak here. Am I audible now? So
Yeah,
what
yeah.
we will do is we will take a 5-minute break off for online audiences. Meanwhile, people who are online, they can go and put their point of view on the session, either in chat box or unmute themselves. We have given rights to unmute anyone. Woody
Can I
will
give
be
the last
speaking on the
comments,
main
Vivek?
hall now. So we are shifting to the main hall. Give us 5 minutes for this transition. We'll be seeing you shortly on the stage of auditorium. Meanwhile, yes, you can continue, Chandrasekhar, and please conclude as well. Meanwhile, we are shifting. Okay. Thank
My
you.
only point is, we have world over two largest sources of energy. One is water, and second is sun. So both have water has hydrogen and oxygen, and sun has hydrogen and helium. So and then as Michael said, and Professor Praful also said, how can we use AI for increasing the capturing of sun energy? I think today we capture less than 1% of sun energy, which is deciphered every day. But how we can actually use more of 2% or 3% of sun's energy to ensure that we are able to go to net zero at the earliest. I think AI can be of great help in that area, and I think that's the future which everyone should actually look forward to. Thank you so much.
Pabrita, attorney, I
Sorry,
sent you
sorry.
a message on chat.
Yeah, you can even give anybody else, Praful, if you want to conclude, you can keep concluding till the time we go on the main stage. And of course, your piece on the main stage is required. Where we have to, yeah. Yeah, can you please?
Yes, sir.
Sorry, it's like juggling everything.
Yeah, sure.
To kill this dead hour, my name is Kasaraj and I'm calling from Raichur. If anyone is there, you can unmute me.
Left or right?
I am talking from an orchard. In the background, you can see. Of course, there is no clear study in the Indian context that what is the contribution of orchids or greenery or agriculture tree in terms of sequestering the carbon dioxide. So I would like to request everyone on this process. As of now, there is a rough calculation that 4 to 7 tons of carbon dioxide is taken out.
Yeah. Range.
And the I grow Gawa
Range
stop Gawa and taking through walk through, and you can see world's costliest rose that costs you.
Perfect.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.